All right, y'all, so we are finally out of Mount Pleasant. Unfortunately, we're not done with Mount Pleasant, but we're gonna get back to that later. We're on Daniel Island today, and it is just one exit up from Mount Pleasant, exit 26. And we've turned onto the island, and we're gonna kind of run through the business district. So as you come on Daniel Island off of 526, you know, one of the first things you're gonna run into to our left is Governor's Park. And Governor's Park is one of the City of Charleston, Daniel Island group things they've developed together, and it's a recreational space, has baseball fields. My sons play flag football out there in the fall and the winter. We're going underneath 526 now. Over to our left is the Family Circle Tennis Center, and right next to that you find the Family Circle Cup Tennis Stadium, where they have the women's tennis tournament every year, and you know, concerts and other things on Daniel Island. Then over to the right is your shopping area. You've got a Publix grocery store. You can kind of see out the window. You've got, you know, little shops and restaurants. Some of them are national, and then there's, you know, there's some mom and pop businesses out here. One of the things that I have issue with about Daniel Island is the commercial space is very expensive. So I don't think you get as much diversity out here in, you know, mom and pop businesses as you do in other parts of Charleston, because the cost to run a business out here for rent is much more expensive than you'd find in, you know, even back in Mount Pleasant. But again, very nicely done through here. We're driving through here in the summer. It's July, so things are pretty much in bloom, but pretty much all the time during the year you're going to find that Daniel Island is you know, very well manicured, and a lot of people like that. Occasionally you get people who don't like the, you know, the way that it's so neatly laid out, but I think it has a lot of upside for resale, because a majority of the people do like the way it's set up, and you know, the trees and the landscape. Probably see over to our right, they're building some luxury apartments that are going to be geared towards, I've been told, an older crowd, but I think they're going to, you know, it's going to be a mixed crowd that lives in those apartments, but they're going to be very high end and, you know, very expensive, as most things are out on Daniel Island to rent. So we've turned off the main road, which was 7 Farms, and we've turned down to go down towards the river, which is where some more of the restaurants are and some of the businesses. Sir Metz is a really good spot I like a lot. He's an artist chef, which is a good combination, I suppose, a lot of creativity, and recommend that for a glass of wine or appetizers, and they are open for lunch and dinner, I believe. Directly out in front of us is the Children's Play Park. That right now is a children's play park. The plans are to develop this into a marina, and this will be partnered with the City of Charleston and the Daniel Island Company to develop this area. Again, the plans are for the biggest marina in the southeast. Will go on the banks of the Wando River, and just down the river from us is the historic City of Charleston, so you're very close to that. One of the things that I think people like, besides, you know, you get really pretty vistas living out here, is a lot of the walking trails, and you may see over to our right one of the trails that's going out by the river. All the neighborhoods get connected by this, and they kind of feed back into Daniel Island. So there's a lot of upside to Daniel Island if you like walking, you like biking, and you want some defined trails. They have the 23 miles of biking and walking trails that kind of run around the part of the island we're on. And these oak trees at night, you know, really pretty. They uplight them, and you know, that kind of takes on a different look as the evening progresses. They have over to our right, these are Daniel's Landing. These are condos. They were originally built as apartments, and they condoed them off and sold them probably back in 2005 and 2006. Then next to it is 200 River Landing, which are these stucco faced buildings to our right, and these are 2 and 3 bedroom condos. They have a pool and amenity center that's just for these condos, and elevators, so they're 1 floor living, and you know, very easy access if you're wanting a lock and leave place. 200 River Landing is something you probably want to check out. And we're going to try to make this light up here and head on into some of the neighborhoods in Daniel Island that you'll see here in just a few minutes.